Hello everybody, welcome back to Ms. Pac-Man Maze Madness. We're gonna get the remaining stuff in Pack, Crackle, Pop. So, the 8th potential disadvantage / downside on this article says Pac-Man players might find that they often get insomnia. People who get hooked on playing Pac-Man or other games often find that they cannot simply unwind and go to sleep after a long gaming session. If you have experienced this before, you already know how excruciating it can be to struggle to get some sleep. The game may play on in your mind, and you might even experience insomnia. It's important to spend a healthy amount of time away from your digital devices. I agree with that part, but the thing is, we're all guilty of doing that. Even for people who aren't gamers, we all spend time on our phones before we go to bed, and if we see something that happens to excite us, then our brain isn't focused on producing melatonin. Players prone to insomnia should avoid playing Pac-Man and other games at least an hour before bed. That I kinda have to agree with. There were so many times where on weekends as a kid, I'd get stuck on a certain level in a game and, staying up late, and I stayed up pretty late sometimes. They are right about the game playing in your head, especially if you're stuck on a level and you're anxious to advance. Next one says, playing Pac-Man regularly can lead to a lack of productivity. If you happen to thoroughly enjoy Pac-Man, you may find that your productivity levels in other areas of your life start to suffer. You might try to squeeze a game here and there when you would otherwise be working or doing something productive. You can also find yourself rushing through tasks so that you can get back to playing your favorite game. I've been guilty of doing this before. But on the bright side, it gives you something to look forward to doing. You finish school or work for the day, and you can't wait to unwind at home and play your favorite games. If you had a lot of things on your to-do list, you might not want to get hooked on playing Pac-Man. Next one says, Pac-Man is an outdated game. How do you feel about outdated games? Chances are that most children are interested in other, more advanced games. Pac-Man just doesn't interest every gamer, and that's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Some say that Pac-Man is a game with a timeless concept, but is it really? There's a reason why certain themes and concepts go out of fashion, and that's because the world changes and develops. Well, that's true, but in my eyes, any game that is or was very popular isn't outdated, especially if it's a game that I enjoyed playing the first time but will come back and play it again, not only for nostalgia's sake, but just because I enjoy the game itself. That's just one person's opinion on that. While Pac-Man has evolved, a lot has been done to modernize the game over time. It cannot take away from the fact that Pac-Man is an old-fashioned game that could potentially belong in the past. I personally think it's a game that still holds up to this day. It really depends on your preferences and your experiences as a gamer, which is why I personally think that games that I enjoyed playing as a kid and still enjoy playing to this day aren't outdated in my eyes. Now, if there's a game that I used to enjoy playing but maybe don't enjoy playing anymore, or maybe it doesn't feel the same, that's a different story. And last but not least on this little list here, Pac-Man is not mentally challenging. You can learn to play it in minutes. How long did it take you to learn to play Pac-Man? You probably picked up on the game rules and strategies quite quickly, didn't you? One thing about Pac-Man is that it is a game that is quick and easy to play. There's nothing complicated about the game at all. Most players learn to play the game in a few minutes, and players who are looking for a mental challenge may find that Pac-Man just isn't challenging enough for them to continue playing long term. And that's okay. It just goes to show you everybody has different preferences when it comes to games. I can be a fan of both. Some games I don't mind the simplicity of, and other games I enjoy a little bit of a challenge. And I'm just gonna add this. Learning how to play Pac-Man isn't hard, per se, but staying alive without getting cornered by the ghosts, that I would consider a challenge. All things considered, if you've been wondering if Pac-Man is a great game or a tired concept, the above-mentioned points should provide you with some insight. These 11 disadvantages of playing the game can be considered definite cons. Pac-Man can be a fun game, but there are some disadvantages and downsides to consider before you become hooked on it or let your kids get hooked on it. Keep them in mind when you're faced with whether to invest in the latest version of the game or not. I've already stated this point before, but it just stems from game preferences. As long as you enjoy playing the game, that's all that matters. But one thing that I will say is that I'm glad that game developers decided to try to modernize the game a little bit. I mean, there's only so much you can do with one concept of trying not to die from ghosts and other enemies, and activating switches, and navigating across platforms and things like that. Okay, there's really not much else for me to talk about, and I already did this level once before, so I'm just gonna be quiet and let you guys enjoy the game, and I'll see you towards the end. Okay, there's the fruit star. There's the cacti star. Let's get out of here. Alright, that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!